I'm Aaliyah.
I'm Gina.
And I'm Grace.
And welcome to another episode of With Glee.
Wow.
And today we will be talking about feminism because this month is Women's History Month.
Women.
Let's first define, what does feminism mean to you, personally?
Go.
To me, I mean, like, it's just like the dictionary definition, isn't it? Like, just advocating for equality of everyone, of the sexes. And that, like, there's equal opportunity for everyone, no matter your gender. Everyone's treated fairly, especially women. Okay, actually, it does have more to do with women. And it's not just equality, it's like equity, you know, because women are already, you know, don't have like the opportunity for like a lot of things, or like don't have, I guess, I don't know how to say this. It's not only like having equal resources, it's like having like an equal amount of
Opportunities, yeah.
No, but it's different from equality, it's like equity. And it's like, because if you just give like the same resources to both men and women, you know, men are going to be more able to like achieve things with those resources than women are. So it's giving women more resources so that they could be equal with men. So it's a little bit more than just like equality, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really think about the definition of feminism a lot, I guess.
Me too. I feel like I have a similar view. I mean, that's like how we were taught it.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's like the dictionary definition, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's not like I don't see it differently in like my life or something. You know
True.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
How about you, Gina?
I don't really think about the definition of feminism that much, I guess. I think, it's similar to what you guys said, just having equal opportunities, kind of changing the way things have been done in society, like societal standards for women, too. I think a lot of it is, for me personally, is tied with not so much like women's rights, but more like the double standard of being a woman, I guess. Like when they compare it to men or something.
Yeah.
Like for example, this is kind of an extreme example, but when like guys like sleep with a lot of women, they're praised for that.
Yeah.
They're, you know, womenizers or whatever. It's a positive thing. But then when women do that, they're like slut shamed, basically. And not that I'm like advocating like people go sleep with each other all the time, but it's just like why is that even a thing?
Yeah. Because feminism, it's like not only like creating like good things, it's also like taking down like patriarchal systems that like don't benefit anyone. Like even if you're a man, because there's like really high standards for men as well that they can't, like it's like just impossible for them to achieve as well as the many that women have. And it's
double.
and it's also just like dismantling those systems. And it's like two things in one.
Right. Through breaking down those barriers, we also dismantle like the toxic masculinity, like the machismo culture, you know. And so it's like good for both men and women.
It's not only for women.
Yeah. Just like you said.
Yeah.
Cool. So how do you think feminism is misconstrued lately in society? They both have a lot to say.
I mean, like a lot of men think that like women who, sometimes, I feel like the majority of the time, like people who identify themselves as like feminists, or women in particular who identify as feminists, are viewed as misandrous, like men haters, and who hate men, like don't think men are capable of anything, and like it's just like this very like, I don't know, like villainous take on who men are, and because of that, like, we are villainized, or like feminists are villainized, and like feminism is villainized as like this thing that doesn't help like society at all, you know, and like is just like misogyny turned around and like the other way around, and it's like that, which is not true. And there are women who think that way, and like people who do like think that way, honestly, rightfully so. Sometimes.
Yeah, but like, are they called feminists? Like,
I mean, maybe they would consider themselves feminist, but it's not really like the true meaning of it, even though they call themselves that. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, they're kind of extreme a little bit, but like, they have their reasons. I mean, like, I guess it just depends on what they consider as feminism.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like, really, like, us even like defining feminism, like, we could have all had like very, very different like opinions about it, or like views about like what it really means, because some people it just means, oh, support all women, that's it, like that's all it is, like, and nothing else. But really it's like, it's so much more than that, and like, you have to put in work, you have to like put in like so much like work just like internally to like not, I guess, to like shed like the societal like like almost like brainwashing that has happened since we were born, you know, and it's like that too, and it's not just like, oh, I love women, you know. Like, it's not like that, and a lot of people think it's just that, you know, but it's so much more like than that. It's like standing up for like women, or like even pointing out like, okay. Because I wanted to mention this, but like this whole like controversial maybe, but like this whole like discourse where like plastic surgery, you know, is like okay, and like it is like okay, but like, and like if a woman wants to do that, she can, and that's okay, like completely okay. But like, if you can't recognize that the reason why she's doing that is because of like these standards, these like beauty standards that have been like in place for like so long, if you can't recognize that, and if she can't recognize that that's why, that's really the reason why. Because if you like, we weren't like exposed to like society or like everything that's like that like dictates what a woman is, like she wouldn't want to like change her body.
Exactly.
That's true.
You know?
I agree,
That's true.
So it's like, yeah, like support women too, but like also like recognize that like the reason why like these things, like you want to go get plastic surgery, or like why you want to dress a certain way, it's because of society and because of the patriarchy.
I agree,
I've never thought of it like that. That's so interesting. Well, I think in a lot of ways, like, people take it to the extreme sometimes. I mean, that's with everything though, like politics, feminism, toxic masculinity, like whatever it may be. People have a tendency to take things to the extreme. And I think with feminism, like, sometimes it's not about like bashing on men. It's really not about that. It's because like the more that we bash on men, I feel like the more that men are gonna be against feminism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like bashing on them in unnecessary ways, like especially on social media. I think maybe it's because we hide behind screens and stuff. But I've noticed a lot of women are very mean. They're so mean.
As they should be.
As they should.
I think there's a line, like a very, very fine line when it comes to you standing up for feminism and you just being mean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are productive ways of like actually like pushing, like
of course,
you know, like change and like positive, like just I do agree with that. Like, but also rightfully so.
I mean, we could start with like, you know, like talking to, or if we have someone in the family or like close to us who speaks about women and towards women in a very toxic way, then we can, you know, kind of like not correct them, but like educate them, like redirect how they talk, you know. But then but if you're not even doing that and you're like going on the internet and like just bashing people, like it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, you can go vote. Like there's like so many ways that we can do this.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to, because the more that we shit talk, the more like shit that just happens, I feel like.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's not even just like, because like you can be aggressive about the way you approach a man, like you definitely could, and like it still be like very like, it's just like it being like an educated like response or like an educated like way, like discussion where like you're like telling them like in a very like logical way. And like it can still be kind of pointy and like sharp, you know, and it's like, you know, what's the word?
What do you mean?
Delivered. And it's delivery. But I think where the disconnect comes into play is when like people have that same like passion but don't have like the like education, I guess. You know, to back it up. You know, so that they're like,
I agree.
It's like more of a reasonable, I guess, approach.
Yeah, it sounds more logical.
But I feel like it also depends on how like the man takes it. Like because like even if they're being aggressive, like they literally could like gaslight, you know, manipulate, like everything. Like it's like they don't take women seriously. And it's just like they're not gonna listen.
Because it's like not all the blame should go on us. Like not all like the like responsibility should be on us. Like they have like as much responsibility, more, I'd argue, even because they have more power and more privilege, so they should use it. And that means okay, then they have more responsibility than us to like change this. True.
Exactly.
I
feel like that's the whole reason why we have like Women's History Month, kind of, because like of course there's no Men's History Month, like because we don't want to give more of a platform for men because like they don't need it.
Women of color and feminism. What do we think?
Okay. Feminism, and like even it's like starts in like what, like the 60s and like the 70s, you know, when the first like feminist like wave hit. Like I don't know if it was in America only. That's probably the extent of my knowledge. But like that was like mostly for white women, you know.
That's so true.
Like even like white queer women too, like, and it's like feminism, like a part of the definition that I would add would be that it's intersectional, and it has to be intersectional so that it like it's not only about gender, it's about race too. It's about like every single thing that one like a person would identify as, and it's like it should be all inclusive. And like even like we're writing a blog post.
Exactly.
And our blog post is about like women in fashion who inspire us. And like I was looking at articles and almost all of them were like majority white women. And I'd have to specifically look up like women of color in fashion in order to get like those like icons or like like role models. And like that shouldn't have to be a thing where we have to like search for that separately. Like we should be able to like get everyone in that first like search. And I feel like that's still lacking now, obviously. But I don't know like how much we can do to change that, I guess, without it seeming like we're just picking like black people or picking Asian people just to put them in the mix so that it seems like we're like diverse.
I see.
You know, like how do you know when it's like not deliberately for that reason and just like, you know, because they're like, I don't know, inspiring for like that article, you know?
But that's so crazy because like when we were like assigned to do it by Gina, like all I thought of are like people of color.
Yeah, me too. That's what I wanted to.
Yeah, that's how like I wouldn't say like I grew up like seeing them. But like
you noticed the ones who looked like you or had like similar backgrounds as you, so like of course you're going to like, you know, they're gonna resonate more with you.
But like I know that like you said, when you search it up it'll be like majority white people, and so if you like for kids like younger generation, when they're searching it up they'll only see that and they'll grow up with that, which is like what the heck.
Sucks. It's hard being a woman of color sometimes.
Yeah.
Hi. How about going to like USC? Like, how is that?
Going to USC?
Yeah. Like, weren't you like a psych major?
Mm-hmm.
Were there a lot of guys in like your like classes and stuff? Cause is that like a STEM?
It's a predominantly woman-dominated
Oh
major.
yes, because like
Psych,
yeah,
I guess,
sense.
yeah.
A lot of women, a lot of white women.
At USC.
Yeah, in sciences, because I took a few science classes, there were a lot of men. Duh. A lot of Asian and white men.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. And then if I went, like, when I did, like, prereqs and stuff, a lot of athletes.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of athletes. But yeah, it was predominantly women. I think even my professors... Just kidding. It was like half and half. A lot of my science professors were men, though. White men. Who have PhDs and did research.
Interesting.
I mean, usually in that field, I feel like it's dominated by white men, don't you think?
And like psych?
No, STEM.
Oh yeah, STEM. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you. But my sister always has like tells me, or like she would tell me like when she went to USC and she was a civil engineering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many. And even now she like works at like a company where like they're all white men, they're all old.
Yeah.
Or even if they're not white men, they're just like they're men still. And like she's in like the really small minority of women, a woman of color too.
Yeah.
And like she always tells me how it's like hard for her because like as much like knowledge as she has, as much skill as she has, like sometimes she feels like they won't take her seriously, you know, or like she has to put in. That's what we have to do. We have to put in more work to be taken seriously, or to get the same opportunities as men or as white women, you know. And like that's also what I was talking about like it's not just equality, it's like equity too, because we need more help. Like we need more resources and more like of a push for to achieve like the same even opportunities, not even like the same like goals or like success as like people just in general.
I think that's where the responsibility falls on men a lot more than women. Like when it comes to providing that kind of equity.
Yeah.
And in like a workplace, especially if a woman colleague expresses her opinions or gives like her input on something, it's like up to the men to kind of like, especially if it's a great idea, you know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of women have great ideas too, but it's just like, I don't know, like it's up to the men to kind of like advocate for that and like push it in the right direction, you know what I mean? Because there's only so much that we can do even if we put out good ideas. Because I know like women probably work harder than a lot of men do.
They do.
Yeah, but I think it's because we have to.
So that was a lot to think about and ponder, and we're just gonna let that marinate for a little bit and think about that more. But this is the end of our episode.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoy. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow our Spotify. Yes.
Yeah.
See you next month.
Bye.